Another good outing, but not exactly how we want to finish it. Believe that this team is coming, and I think there will be some games of significance as we go forward. So, any questions?
If you have a question, please raise your hand.
So obviously that was the first week with Dearman at OC. What did you kind of like about his preparation and then just in-game play calling? What worked well in his first week?
He has a kind of just a good view of the 100-yard field and kind of knows where he's at. Made some very significant calls on Saturday. Put us in position to score.
Obviously, it was the best offensive game for you guys since that Boston College game, and I don't know. It seemed like Puka was able to have a huge game, and Stanley had a really productive game.
9 guys touched the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as in receptions from Stanley. So, I think I think we're doing the things that we need to do, and I think that he is facilitating that extremely well. And it's when you get the ball to 9 guys, those 9 guys, it makes their game jump a little, and I think you'll find there'll be another what will be game with multiple receivers.
And then obviously defensively there were some issues for them to score 50 points. And what was kind of standing out? After you've watched the game since then.
As much as I hate to admit it, I think the quarterback's pretty good, and I think if we got him a nice tackle, we got a tackle late in the game in a last drive, for instance. Be surprised how quickly the plays and the opportunities that they have to move the football dwindle, and so we just couldn't get that done. Again, the quarterback's pretty talented.
What did you like about what you guys did defensively?
I thought we tackled the ball. I thought we tackled hard. I think, as an example, Mike Lee's tackle and severing of the ball, and Bryce Tornaden got to that ball faster than I could see how anybody could, and then once he got there, there was no chance that ball was going to go to anybody other than him. So, I like those things.
If you have a question, raise your hand.
Coach, you talked about a lot of guys touching the ball on offense. Torrey Laughlin took 2 snaps at quarterback in that game. Was that just for the Texas game, or was that a package that you'll be using further into the weeks?
That was kind of, we'll have to see how that goes, as planned, but we'd certainly like to make that a regular piece of our business if we could.
Coach, after the game, a lot of the athletes are talking about how they felt disrespected by the Texas coaching staff. And you could see the way they played on the field with the edge. Did you like the way the guys played with that edge on the field?
I like the way they played, and I enjoyed how they took the field, and they obviously were in a very competitive game from the start. So participated fully, and when you take the lead in the last drive, you think that you're going to win. So I liked it.
Do you feel like Gavin Potter took a step forward, and what do you think about where he's at right now?
Gavin Potter's a true freshman. He has come in, has shown no problem dealing with big stadiums and stepping into spots and playing big. I think he had 9 tackles, all over the field, and he's going to be something down the road. You give him a couple years, and he'll be something else. But freshman newcomer of the something or other would be a great suggestion if you make it.
If you have a question, raise your hand and we'll get you the mic.
I kind of like the freshman newcomer of the something or other.
Got a good ring.
Yeah, it had a nice little set to it. Didn't it?
What's the update on Jeremiah McColl's status?
He won't be with us this weekend. We'll have to see. It's significant.
Jesse?
Hey, Les, a couple of them. Excuse me. Looked like late in the game, Texas, when you guys were trying to stop them, maybe the ball.
There was some time in the game that we weren't trying to stop him.
Well, you know, when you're trying to stop them to win the game,
Yeah.
the clock might not have started on time. I didn't know if that's something you guys noticed, rewatching film, if that's something you bring to the attention of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll turn it in. We'll see what they say. There's been other conferences that I've been involved in, and it seems that the hometown clock guy can sometimes quickly move the clock along, sometimes inappropriately, or sometimes hold the clock and not get it started when the play started. So I think we'll have a look at that, see what they say.
What type of impact do you think it had from rewatching it?
I would say, without a timeout, that was one play.
They also, the TV
With a
cameras.
timeout, it could have been two.
Okay. The TV cameras also showed you and Brent talking with the two-point conversion. I wondered what that discussion was before you guys decided to go for two. What were you guys talking about in that moment?
Well, I just wanted to make sure of the logistics of this, because, I wanted to see, what his thoughts were in terms of the rest of the game. And everybody was very, very positive, so I decided that was the way we should go.
And last one for me. I'll turn the mic over, I promise. There have been games where you've had a call sheet and have been involved with the headset. That last game you were not. I just wondered the thinking behind that under Coach.
I had a
Hughes'
call
first game.
sheet and I had a headset.
You did on the game?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you have a
Coach,
question?
Can I ask you, just in a big picture sense, when you have a performance as you did this weekend, just the importance as you're building a program to continue to build on momentum gains when they occur and avoid any kind of setbacks, regardless of wins or losses, just continuing building your momentum.
Well, anytime that you go to an opponent's stadium, you build character in understanding of what it takes to compete away. I think the understanding of being competitive and last drives and how important, the offense got on the field to win it and won it. And special teams did not participate in a way that we'd like for them to participate. And then defensively, should they have gotten a tackle at the end of the game, that could have made a tremendous difference. So having those experiences build a team's reservoir, if you will, of what it is they're supposed to do when given opportunities. And we had a great opportunity this last Saturday.
Scott?
Coach, you mentioned 9 different receivers in front of you. You mentioned 9 different receivers made a catch. I think 10 different receivers targeted. How important is it just to spread the ball around, to have that many different options for your offense?
It's team, and when you have that, you demonstrate it, and the young guys get to participate. It becomes a lot easier to block after you're out there catching a ball, and it becomes. And I think it was truly a team effort. And I think that those 9 guys plus others, stepped in and made big plays based on the fact of the connective feeling of team.
And then could you kind of speak to the toughness of Andrew Parchman and maybe give an update on his health kind of moving forward?
I think Andrew's gonna be fine. Yeah, he had a nice game and he'll be fine.
You mentioned special teams. I know you had a lot of elite special teams units at LSU. So what goes into a good special teams unit?
Well, the speed under the ball. You kick a ball, you must have speed and know how to cover area, and there's a relationship with the players. I think that's the most important thing. If you have a very quality return man, I mean, I think that gives you a strength in the return game that other people don't have. And but you have to do the things that are basic to and fundamental to teams. And when you line up to kick a field goal, you line up to kick that extra point, you have to have protection. Period. You know, if I'm Liam, I'm saying, hey guys, there's some leakage up here. So that being said, I think we'll be fine in special teams. Just keep going, babe.
Along those same lines, have you guys identified between those two block kicks a common thread in both of those, or were they two different situations?
They're different pieces they're different people, but we can categorize them in a wide term protection. So, and we'll spend time on it. I promise you. The coaching staff spent time Sunday and this morning. So we'll take that expression of effort and energy to the game.
Coach, can you talk about your expanded use of the fullbacks? You had them, back with Carter, also up in what I call the dirty slot, where they're getting their hands dirty, and also the significance of what Puka was able to do because of these two fullbacks.
Yeah, one of the things that operate out of this room and probably on that wall, we are the most physical. So one of the things that allows us to be physical is to have big, barrel-chested, tough fullbacks, and with the opportunity to block for others, and yet have the opportunity to do those things, sparingly that they do with the ball, like run down to the goal line or run midfield, and so.
Coach, what impressed? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Coach, what impressed you about Carter's first game with this new offense?
It's not a new offense. It's a. And then again, you can say that was a great question. It is a new offense, but the similarities between what we ran in the first several games and what we're running now are significant. It's just that the approach is different, and I think Mr. Dearman is doing a great job in pushing connectivity, team, physical play, and yet similarities between some of the things that we call, and dissimilarities. I mean, there's some specific to him additions.
We have time for two more, so we'll go with Kirby.
Les, what have you seen from Texas Tech so far offensively?
Talented, well prepared. It's going to be a very competitive game. We'll look forward to hosting them, certainly.
There were I think maybe 2 or 3 times where Malik Clark looked like he was kind of banged up. How's he doing? Is he going to be able to play this coming week?
I think Malik Clark will be fine. He had cramps, and then he had really a couple of nicks, I think, but I think he'll be fine. I would expect him to play in this game.
And then with Prox being out so long, is it possible he'll miss this year? And if he did, would it be possible to have a medical red shirt?
I don't know, haven't done the research on it. I promise you that research should be done before he goes onto the field again. And, we'd love to have him for another year, you know, should that be the case.
Do you think he'll play this year?
You know, I'm gonna check on that. It'd be a late call, I promise you.
All right, thank you, Coach.
See you.
Thanks, Coach.